I just witnessed something at a conference that completely changed how I think about nurturing audiences. And it's going to change everything that you've been told about content marketing. My name is Michael Elsner. And last week I attended a multi-day conference where two speakers gave completely opposite advice about nurturing your audience. One said, give away your best stuff for free. The other said, stop wasting time on nurture content and just sell your products. Now, here's the crazy part. Both speakers are incredibly successful. They've both built multi-million-dollar businesses, but their approaches are polar opposite. And today I'm going to settle this debate once and for all. I'm going to share what I've learned from testing both approaches in my own business over the last number of years. And I'm going to give you a framework to decide which path is right for you. Now, let me set the scene for a moment. Day one of this conference, a speaker gets up for 45 minutes and passionately explains why you should nurture your audience and give away your best content for free. I'm sure you've heard this before. If you give away your best stuff for free, people are going to think, oh my gosh, if this is what they, give away for free, what must their paid content be like? It's classic advice. Makes perfect sense. But then the very next day, another speaker takes the stage with a completely different message. They said, I'm going to paraphrase it, of course. They said, listen, we're a business. We create products that change people's lives. Our energy should be spent focusing in on selling those results and giving people transformation, not wasting our time nurturing window shoppers. So their argument was pretty simple. Why spend time creating free content for people who will likely never buy when you can be focusing that energy on serving the paid customers who are ready to transform their lives? There's two successful entrepreneurs, two completely different philosophies, both making millions. Who is right? Well, here's where this actually gets interesting. Over the last 7 years, I've actually done both approaches pretty extensively. I've gone through phases where I've heavily nurtured my audience. I've created, weekly content. I've shared valuable insights. I've really built relationships over months with those subscribers, and I had amazing sales. And then I've gone through periods where I literally stopped all my nurture content and I just made offers, just offer. Direct sales approach. Guess what? I had great sales then too. So here's what actually shocked me. When I stopped nurturing my audience, the sales did not dwindle. The bottom didn't fall out. Revenue stayed pretty strong. And as I reflected on this experience, I realized that both approaches work, but for different reasons. The coach who doesn't nurture, well, they're running ads, they're spending significant money on traffic. They're focusing in on immediate conversions, and that works. The coach who nurtures heavily, well, they're building an audience that converts over time. They're creating content that generates organic traffic, and they're building relationships that lead to higher lifetime customer value. That works too. But here's actually the deeper truth that I discovered. You have to run your business in alignment with who you are. The person who spoke about not nurturing, for them, creating nurture content would probably come across as inauthentic. It might actually hurt their business because that inauthenticity that would shine through, right? Now, for me, I'm the kind of person who's going to pull over and help someone change a tire on the side of the road. I genuinely enjoy helping people, whether they're going to, buy from me or not. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy sharing insights that help people get, even the micro successes along their journey. I've actually had close friends and even business partners tell me to stop sharing my secrets with competitors, but I can't. If I love talking about something and sharing something, I'm going to share it. That's who I am. So creating nurture content feels natural for me. I follow what I call the Go-Giver philosophy. It's a great book, by the way. There are a lot of window shoppers that come along with this path. The vast majority of people watching this video right now or listening to the podcast will never buy anything from me. That's perfectly fine. I'm not creating this content for them. I'm actually creating it because I believe I have something valuable to share with others. I have knowledge and experience that can help people. So why have both approaches worked for me? That's actually a good question. I'm going to share with you something that I believe will change how you think about your audience. And that is, there are two types of buyers in any market. You have emotional buyers and you have logical buyers. Emotional buyers buy quickly based on emotion. They see your offer, it resonates with them, and they purchase immediately. Now, these buyers, they do not need much nurturing. They're ready to act. They're ready to get that impact and that transformation in their life. Really, in my experience, they're most likely going to be your best clients. It's been my experience that emotional buyers, they're the ones who happen to be the most successful because they don't let their self-talk get in the way of taking action. Now, logical buyers, they buy slowly after they've considered every possible option. They might take months or even years to make a decision. I have people in my world who followed me in my music business for 4 or 5 years before finally taking action and joining a program that can change their life. Now, many of them have success as well, of course. It just takes longer for them to get there because they have to logically process their way through every step of the journey. So nurture content is what converts logical buyers. Okay, if you only focus on direct sales, you're only capturing the emotional buyers. And in my experience, you're leaving money on the table from all of the logical buyers who just need more time and more touch points on their journey with you before they're ready to invest. But if you only nurture and you never make direct offers, you're missing out on the emotional buyers who are ready to buy right now. The most successful businesses do both. They nurture the logical buyers while also making clear, direct offers to the emotional buyers so that they can jump in and get that transformation now. So with that being said, here's why I believe that nurture content is one of the greatest assets that you can have in your online business. It's really a free evergreen lead generation machine. When you put nurture content out into the world, it lives there forever. It continues working for you 24/7, bringing in new leads and converting prospects ultimately into customers. So let me give you a real example of this. I shut down my music licensing business, Master Music Licensing, 3 years ago from the time I'm recording this now, okay? But I left a couple of funnels running just because they deliver great value. And I still get people purchasing from that business weekly. It's pretty crazy, right? Content I created literally 5, 6, 7 years ago, still being purchased weekly. It's kind of like my song catalog. I have over 5,000 tracks that I've written throughout my career, but I have not created one piece of new music in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, I'm still landing an average of 3 new placements in major TV shows and ad campaigns every week from music that I created years ago. Now, your nurture content works the same way. If you create valuable content that helps people, it can continue generating leads and sales for years. Now, if you're only running ads, the moment you turn off the ad, the leads stop. So here's where a lot of people mess up when it comes to nurture content. They actually don't connect it to a specific outcome. Your nurture content should, at minimum, drive people to your email list. It should provide a very clear path from valuable content and information to lead magnet to email sequence to offer. This video that you're watching or the podcast that you're watching right now or listening to, this is nurture content. Below this video or on this page somewhere, there's a link to my ebook, The 7 Simple Steps to a 7-Figure Business. That's the lead magnet. And for those who want to learn the 7-step framework that you can apply to your own business, that's going to give you more time and financial freedom, of course, that you ever thought possible. You're going to download the book. Hopefully, you're going to read it. You're going to continue receiving free trainings in your inbox. And there will be opportunities along the way for you to work directly with me. Okay, you already know how this works. If you're following this, you already know how this works, right? It's nothing new. But if you're up in the air on whether or not to nurture your audience, I recommend that you ask yourself these 4 questions. And they are, what feels most authentic to you? Okay, do you genuinely enjoy teaching and helping people even if they never buy? Or do you prefer to focus your energy exclusively on paying customers? The second question I have here is, what is your traffic strategy? Are you willing to spend significant money on ads to drive traffic directly to your sales page, or do you want to build organic traffic through valuable content? Again, this is completely dependent on who you are as a person. Question 3 is, what is your timeline? Are you looking for quick wins and immediate revenue, or are you building for the long term and willing to invest in relationships that pay off over time? The fourth question here is, who is your ideal customer? Are they emotional buyers who make quick decisions, or are they logical buyers who need time and multiple touch points before they're ready to invest? And there's no right or wrong answer to any of these questions. Both approaches, as you've seen, can build seven-figure businesses that provide tremendous freedom for you and your family. But the key is choosing the approach that aligns with who you are and then committing to that approach 100%. Now, I've learned, for me, a hybrid approach works best. I create nurture content because I enjoy it and it aligns with who I am. But I also make regular offers because I have products that can genuinely transform people's lives in weeks. And I would be doing them a disservice if I only offered it to them once a year. My nurture content serves multiple purposes. The first is that it builds trust with logical buyers over time. It generates organic traffic and leads. Not only does it position me as an expert in my field, but it makes me a much better coach and a presenter and ultimately a speaker. And those are all extremely, extremely powerful skills that help make me even more impactful on the lives of others. It creates an evergreen asset that works for years. But like I said, I also, make clear direct offers because a lot of people are ready to buy now. They're ready for that transformation now, and they need an expert or a mentor to simply show them the path forward. So for me, the key is balance. Okay, I like to provide massive value through my nurture content, but I'm also not afraid to make offers. And here's what I recommend for you. Stop trying to follow someone else's blueprint to the T. Build a business that aligns with who you are. The beauty of being an entrepreneur is that we have the freedom to build a business that is fully aligned with who we are. If you're naturally a teacher and a helper, lean in to nurture content, create valuable content that serves your audience and builds long-term relationships with them. Now, if you're more focused on direct results with paid clients, focus on great sales copy and focus on direct offers. Of course, you're also going to need to set aside some money for advertising, but that's going to be a key component to your business model as you design your business. The reality here is that both work. The key is authenticity and commitment. So with that said, let me know which approach is ideal for you. Are you going to focus on building relationships through valuable content, or are you going to focus on direct sales? Either way, remember that your business should be a representation of who you are and not just a collection of strategies that you've acquired from others. Build authentically, serve genuinely, and I promise you, success will follow. I hope you got something out of this. We will talk to you soon.